Mikel, what are your thoughts on a 3-0 win and the performance that went with it?
Really happy, obviously, with the win. 6 points now with a clean sheet. And the way we attacked the box when we got there. But in general as well, I think we lacked a little bit of connection today between the players. Too many simple things, too many giveaways. And we weren't that consistent and that dominant throughout the game.
But that connection, does that come with this group of players that were on the pitch today playing with each other more? I know they train with each other.
Of course, there's a changes there, and there are a lot of players that haven't played a lot of minutes, and you can feel that in their coaching and understanding what to do, when to do it, and that timing sometimes is missing, and you can notice that. But attitude-wise and everything, no issues.
Well, I guess you've got another game in Norway next week to work on that. What did you learn about your opponents tonight?
Not much, because I saw 4 games of them, and I said in the press conference that I was very impressed at the way they play. I told the players that you don't do it right, you're going to have to run a lot after the ball, because a team that they have the tools, the understanding and the quality to do it, and at times today they shown that.
What was special about the goals today was the assists, 3 sublime assists to create these goals, so much creativity in your team.
Yeah, I said in the final third, I think we looked really dangerous every time we got into these positions. I think we were a threat, and the goals we scored, they were good goals. They
started the second half well, Bodø, didn't they? Did you notice that there was a slight drop in energy, and is that why the subs were made quite so early?
Yeah, a few players you could notice that when the game takes a different intensity, they were suffering a little bit, and it's normal. They haven't had enough exposure, enough minutes, and that's what we had to plan to make the right subs at the right time.
Mikel, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Pretty happy, Bonnie. I think that's fair. Although, a bit like his mentor, if that's fair, at Manchester City, the guy I'm sure he learned plenty from in Pep Guardiola, he's always looking for more. He's a perfectionist, isn't he? And he's fretting there about sometimes they gave it away a bit cheaply.
And I think he's right, Mikel Arteta. You know, you've got to set the bar really high, haven't you? You know, at the moment, they're in a situation, they're top of the league. You know, you've got to have one eye on what might happen. Tough game coming up against Liverpool. So he doesn't want any complacency. He wants the next lot to prove that they should be in the team. So that's him about nurturing. And if they see him being complacent, then the players, maybe it creeps into them. So he wants more. He wants perfection. And I think he's right. 8 changes. He talked about difficulty with some of the connections. It worked at Zurich, pretty well the same team. But I felt 1 or 2 were suffering, maybe living off that performance a little bit in the early stages. But in the end, it came together really well. Jesus coming off the bench, I think, that demonstrates to the group, doesn't it? That look at the quality. I'm the top man. You know, and I'm going to show everybody else how we behave. And that really helps to police it for the manager. Yeah. Because he's the player that they point to. He's the role model within the group.
So it's not so much that the ones that perhaps started tonight are threatening in the short term to take the starting places, it's that they are creating the competition for which those first teamers then have to keep performing.
It's creating a culture, isn't it? He's right to demand excellence, because Arsenal and this season are trying to do something extraordinary. They're trying to go up against Man City. They're trying to win the Europa League. The bar's been set very high. You know, like you said, you've got Gabriel Jesus playing to the top of his game, you know, coming off the bench, showing the demands, you know, chasing everything down. The manager, you know, he's right to not be delighted with it. You know, to let the lads know that this is Arsenal Football Club and we want to be back at the top table. You know, we don't want to be playing in Europa.
And the level of the opponent, you know, take nothing away from them.
Yeah.
And the opponent that's coming up in the distance. Because Liverpool are sitting there, Klopp's watching, and he's got a plan. And he's going to come after Arsenal at the weekend, and they're going to have to stand up to that and be up for that challenge. But it'll be a very different Emirates that Liverpool experienced this time round to last time, because we talk about the Anfield experience and how much that helps them, but that's returning now to Arsenal. It's getting a special day now every time you turn up to play a game there.
Do any of tonight's, if you want to call them B team, is probably a bit harsh, do they threaten a starting place? I'm thinking maybe of Tierney for Sunday, if Zinchenko's not fully fit, wasn't involved tonight.
I feel sorry for Tierney. That could have hit the back of the net easily, that long-range shot. He's a high caliber player. He comes on in every game. But obviously you're not completely meeting his needs. But then again, it shows you the quality and the strength of the squad when he's not starting. Look what he does when he comes on. So that's what it's about, moving in that direction. You want to be able to have that competition, and the level gets higher. Whether or not these players accept that going forward, as long as they play like that when they come in, I think there's still a future for them.
Yeah, because Tommy S, I suppose you could have a similar discussion around.